What is this CRAAP? Have you ever come across a piece of information and not been sure whether it's true or not? Maybe it's old information, maybe it's no longer relevant. Well, there is a method you can use to determine whether the information is truthful or accurate or fit for the reason that you're trying to find information. This works for anything from research to a post you saw on social media. And you can use this to determine whether that piece of information is true or not. CRAAP, or CRAAP, stands for currency, relevance, authority, accuracy, and purpose. This method was created by the Marian Library in the California State University at Chico in the early 2000s. This method, along with some updated adages for the digital age, is used to help an individual understand if a piece of information is truthful and the purpose of it. Is it satirical? Is it for research purposes? Is it only work for a specific kind of subject matter? So there are some methods that you can use to determine if the information is what you're looking for or if it's propaganda. This also works because there's many satirical news sites, and sometimes people think that those articles are actual information when they're intentionally false, but for the purpose of entertainment. So this can also help you determine whether the news source is satirical or whether it is actual truth. And at the end, I'm going to have my own personal keep in mind tips that I created many years ago when I was doing news in order to determine whether an article or something came across was accurate or not. Because sometimes also information might not be the full information. You might get a piece of the information and then find out that there's actually much more information than you originally thought. So first is currency, or current is the information that you're finding recent. Does it have a publication date? Some information is timeless. However, not all information is, and knowledge is constantly changing and often in need of being updated. So if this is a site, are the links still active? Do they work? This would indicate that the site is being maintained and the information is staying up to date. A lot of technologies are constantly changing, so depending on the topic, the subject matter, you're going to want to make sure that the site or the article that you're looking up the information is current. So you want to make sure that every part about this article or the post is mentioning things that are still used today. They're not mentioning ancient technologies, things we don't use. So if things are new and they're not mentioning it, it might not be as up to date. So you want to make sure that things are relevant to today. That brings us to the second part, which is relevancy, or relevant. Who is the intended audience for this information? What is the grade level or education level for it? Is it made for K through 12? Is it academic level? Is it made for people who are unfamiliar with the subject matter? Or is it made for professionals? So it carries lots of nuance that somebody who is unfamiliar might not understand. And also, is the full information of the article or post actually relevant to what you're looking for? A title might seem relevant to what you're looking for, but the content might be a little bit different. So you want to check the entire article or post to make sure that all of the information within it is actually relevant to what you're searching for. Next, we have authority. This is relating to the source of the information. Who is the author? What is the source? Where is the information coming from? Are there any citations within the information? Who is the author? Are they credentialed? Do you know who they are? If it's a website, is it a legitimate one? Are you getting this from a .edu site, which is academic, or a .gov site, which is from the government? Huge quotation marks or asterisks there. If it's coming from a social media site, is it one that is vetted? Can you verify that this is a legitimate and actual account? Is this coming from an opinion piece, or is this actually being presented as fact? Is this information cited anywhere else? Can you find anything referencing back to this link? This will help you determine about the authenticity of the information. Then there is accuracy. This is to determine the reliability, the truthfulness, and the correctness of the information and the content. Again, where does the information come from? Is the information supported by evidence? Has there been any peer reviews if this is an academic article? Is there another source you can use to verify or validate that this information is accurate? Does the language of the content have a tone that seems biased or emotional? Sometimes that can indicate that there is an agenda for the information beyond just giving a fact. Are there spelling errors, grammatical errors? All of this can help you to determine whether the content of the information is coming from a current, relevant authority and is actually accurate. And finally, the last step in our CRAAP test is purpose. Why does this information exist? Is this information trying to sell you something? Is the information being sponsored? Is there a viewpoint similar to accuracy? Is there a political, ideological, cultural, or personal bias in the content of the information? Is this coming from a professional or an influencer? And if so, are you able to find other surrounding information that would let you know that the professional or influencer is either promoting an agenda, a sponsorship, or actually offering legitimate information instead of an opinion? Finally, the last is my personal keep in mind. And this comes from when I was doing news a million years ago before there was a ton of search engines. Basically, when you're presented with a piece of information, it is best if you can find 3 sources that reference that information that are independent of one another, that do not reference each other. Sometimes you'll find that a news site will repeat verbatim what another news site has said, and at the bottom you'll see it says, "This came from blank and blank news site." That is not an independent source. You want to be able to find 3 unique, different sources that validate the same information. Another thing that can help you do this is by going to the source. This means that if the information is referencing a city or country, you want to go use the internet and go to that country or city's news sites and find the information. You can go to their local libraries online, you can go to their local governments, and definitely their local news channels, and translate it if you have to. And this will help you verify the information from the source instead of getting it from a third party. You can also often find additional information that might not be in the original information that was presented. Last but not least, don't use chatbots. They do not give you accurate information most of the time. Find your own sources using the internet. It is full of them, and you'll be supporting actual human people who have found this information for you. Go to a library, but don't use chatbots. Well, that's it. Now you know some CRAAP. And hopefully this can help you navigate this sea of information that we are all presented with every day to find what you're actually looking for, to make sure that it's real, and to not accidentally share information that is not as accurate as you would like to. Hope you enjoyed this.